Highlight of the day, move of the day, Friday, August 9th. Pre-market, before 9 o'clock, 9:05 Central, which is what I'm about to show you. We talked about what was driving the market. It's obviously been U.S.-China and that whole trade deal. Subcomponent of that is Huawei, also known as Hawaii Technologies, a company that the going back and forth with the White House came out where they're going to delay a decision to grant licenses from U.S. companies to do business with this big Chinese company. And that, created some weakness. We open up. We talk about in the room what's next based on what's driving us. Well, any talk about this story that would create a more permanent delay on granting these licenses, but anything around it. Sure enough, around 9 Central, Trump is giving some comments to a press gaggle, and his comments are coming down the wire. And then they hit the wires a little later, but to our wires, we were trading around 25, 23 even. I'm going to play the footprint here on Sierra, the number bars that they call it. They come up to the VWAP, and when the news hits, you're going to see it fall pretty quickly. And the news was his comments that he doesn't want to do business with Hawaii, not the state, the company, unless maybe China does a deal. The second part of his comment was he could see the September meeting between China and the U.S. here in the U.S. maybe being canceled. That kicked us off lower, another leg. Then we rally back. Here you see it start working lower. Then we rally back a lot, and some other news agencies report this. Maybe 10 minutes later, broke them to 15, back to 18, and then steadily just keep breaking the rest of the session. There it is. There's the big drop. Now, let me pause it a second. Right in here, you get this big drop. Generally, it picked up. It was already coming off in here around 24 quarter, 23 even. And you'll see an edge zone get sent across where the speed picks up, and that's ground zero. But there was another miniature ground zero where you could also realistically got this thing as it danced a little sideways, 21.5, take a shot. You know that it's broke a couple points ahead of that. So you really need it to react lower quicker. But you're understanding in real time why this market got weak so fast and why it's remained weak so far right into me recording this highlight. So let me continue to play it. 21.5s, it dances around, never jumps back really above 21.5, starts to release lower. Right around here, the next comment that he could see the September meeting being canceled comes in. They whack it another few points. They bounce up from these 16s, right? And then you'll see it trade a little higher. Then some of the other news agencies and wires started to report it, and they stepped all over it again. Eventually to right now, 1/4 is the new low that they just put in here around 10:30 Central. So it was a game changer to have his comments backed up, some of the eggshell moments coming into the coming out of the overnight market with this Hawaii company, Huawei, being licensing some business being done by U.S. companies, even through no trade deal. And Trump and the White House have said because they're not buying farm products, so we're going to delay the licensing. He put a more permanent stance on that with these comments that moved us lower. So yesterday we did the correlation between the Bund and stocks. This is correlation between something that is driving the market, a news event, and comments. And if you're not getting better or at least privy to these events and what's driving the market, you'll never truly be considered professional. You got to understand fundamentals so you can answer the question, why did this just happen in real time? Not 10 minutes later, not an hour later, not at the end of the day. You have to answer it in real time. So you could take advantage of the opportunity that the market should go lower based on this. Maybe it's not, maybe it is, maybe you can catch it, but you will be able to trade it more effectively if you first understand how to diligently react to it, and then have some sort of real-time news service, whether it's Trade the News that I use and a lot of guys in the room use, or just this room and me recapping it. But make it a tool in your toolbox. Everybody's got market profile or Fibonacci and moving averages and order flow and all this other stuff. And then I think there's a conventional wisdom out there that has people say, oh, you know, fundamentals, or it'll be either too late to catch or it's already moved, the market's already priced in. No, if it's already priced in, we wouldn't have just seen that move you just watched. And then if it is priced in, when you're supposed to get a big move because you're analyzing news in real time like a trader, not an economist, and you're supposed to go lower and you don't, then that's a great bullish sign in any market. If you're supposed to go lower in bonds and they can't break them, that's bullish in bonds. If the bonds go up and stocks go down and bonds are rallying and the stocks aren't going down, then that's bullish for stocks. When there's a strong correlation that just broke down in that one particular instance. So it's market correlations between markets, but it's also the way real-time news affects market price action based on what's driving the market. New drivers could surface, jump in the car, and start driving the car. Sometimes drivers could jump in the back seat. A few weeks ago, Iran, when they were shooting down drones and we were shooting down their drone, they jumped in the driver's seat at times. Now they're in the back seat, they're not even in the car anymore. They're on the road. They might jump back in, but right now we're not watching them. We're watching U.S.-China trade. It's been dominating the market, including what the Fed and other central banks do. So don't understand this as an economist. Understand it as a trader. Have a great weekend. Manage your risk before you take it.